Welcome to your 15-minute Sun Salutation. This is an energizing yoga flow, perfect to lengthen and tone your body. It's an amazing practice to warm up your body, easing tension and releasing stress. So if you're ready, let's begin. We're going to start this practice in our comfortable cross-leg seated position, sitting up tall on our mat. We're going to wake up with our energy flow breath, meeting our hands together at heart center, taking a deep inhale in as we reach our hands up to the sky and back to heart center. Then we open up our arms in a big inhale, bringing our hands back to heart center. We can flow through this moving at our own pace, opening up as we inhale, exhaling as we close our hands together, inhaling, reaching up to the sky and back to heart center. Beginning to feel grounded on our mat. We're going to swivel around our legs, meeting in the all fours position, lifting up through our center. We're going to extend our right leg back with our toes tucked under. We're going to extend our opposite arm, so our left arm, lifting both up. Both our hip bones are facing down to the mat and meeting back together. This is our spinal balance flow, and we're going to switch. Lifting up our left leg and right arm, releasing back down, lengthening out, releasing down to the mat, lengthening and releasing back to the mat. Reaching out, opposite arm is leg, lifting up through our center and meeting together. Just flowing here, moving at our own pace, making sure that our leg is turned in. Extending, opposite arm is leg, and meeting back in the all fours. We're going to work through a couple more here. And releasing back into our child's pose, letting our forehead really melt into the mat. Breathing into our lower back, just releasing here, letting go. Making our way back to the all fours, we're going to come into our modified plank, lowering our hips down, lowering down slowly to our belly with our elbows hugging in. We're going to press up, coming either into our baby cobra with our forearms on the mat, maybe zipping our legs together in the back and lifting up through our core, dropping our shoulders down, lowering down to our belly and pushing all the way back to our child's pose. Meeting back in our modified plank, we're going to flow through this once again, lowering down to our belly with control, pressing up either into our cobra or into our baby cobra with our forearms down on the mat. Whatever is feeling comfortable for us in this present moment. Placing our hands underneath our shoulders, we're going to lower down and then release back all the way into our child's pose, with an option always to open up our knees and release a bit further down. Shifting into our modified plank, we lower down into our belly, pushing up into the cobra or into our baby cobra. Lowering back down, pressing once again into our child's pose. Meeting back in the all fours, then to the modified plank. Lowering with our elbows hugging in, pressing up into the cobra or into our baby cobra. Lowering back down and pushing once again back into our child's pose. We're going to walk our hands back, rolling up through our spine. With a big inhale, we reach our hands together above our head and meet at heart center. Placing our hands down on the mat, we're going to tuck our toes under and lifting up our knees to our down dog, with always the option to keep both knees bent. We're going to work through our foot pedals, lifting up one heel at a time, reaching the opposite heel down to the mat, feeling the strength in our arms holding us up, the strength in our legs, a lengthening in our calf muscles and in our hamstrings. Meeting both heels together, we're going to bend our knees, walking our feet to meet our hands at the front of the mat, releasing through our neck here, and bending our knees as much as we need to here to feel comfortable. We can rock from side to side here. Maybe choosing to straighten out our knees for more sensation, or keep them bent. Looking up halfway with our flat back, releasing back down. Bending through our knees, we're going to swan dive up, meeting our hands together and back to heart center. Opening our arms up to the mountain, we reach our hands above our head, swan diving down with a flat back. Looking up halfway with our flat back, releasing forward. Stepping back with our right foot into a lunge, we have the option to come up onto our fingertips, maybe onto 2 yoga blocks or 2 books. We're holding here. We're going to lower our knee down, untucking our toes, reaching our arms above our head into our kneeling warrior, really opening up through our chest. We can lower our hips down as much as we would like to, or we can stay higher in our lunge. We also have the option to reach around and grasp our toes for a deep stretch in our quad muscle, or we can stay in our kneeling lunge, really lengthening through our quad muscle and releasing if we grasped our toes. Planting both hands on the mat, we're going to lift up our knee, taking a big step back to our plank, with an option always to come to our modified plank. We're lifting up through our core, and we're going to shift forward and back, engaging our core, lowering our knees down, untucking our toes. We're going to lower down to our belly, pressing up into our cobra or our baby cobra. Really dropping our shoulders down here, lifting up through our center, lowering to our belly, pressing all the way back into our child's pose, maybe tuning back into our breath here. Really releasing our arms, just letting go. Shifting back to the all fours, we're tucking under our toes, lifting up our knees, bending our knees, and straightening. Just maybe releasing deeper here. Holding here for another breath. Bending again, walking our feet to meet our hands at the front of the mat. Releasing in our forward fold. Letting go of our neck here. We're going to look up halfway and release down. Bending through our knees, we're swan diving up, meeting our hands together and back to heart center. Wonderful job, everyone. Standing tall in our mountain pose, reaching our hands together, looking to the sky and back to heart center. We're swan diving down with our flat back, releasing in our forward fold. Looking up halfway with a flat back and releasing down. We're going to step back with our left foot back into our lunge, either coming up onto our fingertips or lowering down onto our hands. Holding our lunge here for another moment. Then we lower our knee down, untucking our back toes. Reaching our hands above our head, we come into our kneeling warrior. Lowering our hips down as much as we would like to here. Opening up through our front hip, opening up through our quad muscle. We also have the option to reach around and grasp our back toes for a deep stretch in our quad muscle. Or we can stay in our lunge. Maybe allowing ourselves to sink a bit deeper into the stretch. Releasing our toes. Back down to the mat. We're going to tuck under our toes, lifting up our knee, taking a big step back to our plank, with an option to come to our modified plank always. We're going to shift forward and back, really lifting up through our belly, shifting forward and back, lowering our knees down, untucking our toes. We're going to press back into our child's pose, letting go of our arms, letting go of our neck, releasing our lower back. Tuning into our breath. Shifting back to the all fours, we're tucking under our toes, lifting up our knees, back to our down dog. Holding here. We're going to bend our knees, walking our feet to meet our hands at the front of the mat. Releasing here in our forward fold, really letting go of our neck. Looking up halfway with our flat back and releasing down. Opening up through our arms, reaching our arms above our head and back to heart center. Beautiful job, everyone. Reaching our arms up again. Opening them as we swan dive forward. Stepping back with our right foot again into a lunge. We're going to plant our foot down on the mat. Opening our arms up. Reaching them above our head. We're meeting in our warrior one. And then we're opening up into our warrior two. Placing our front forearm above our knee, we're going to reach overhead into our side angle. And then planting our hand on our back leg, we're going to stretch through our side in our reverse warrior. Really bending through our front knee. Feeling the engagement of our hamstring here. Maybe bending a bit deeper before we cartwheel our hands, meeting around our front foot. Stepping back to the plank, lowering our knees down, untucking our toes, lowering down to our belly, and pushing up either into our cobra or into our baby cobra. Lowering down and pressing all the way back to our child's pose. Letting go here. Shifting into our all fours, we tuck under our toes, lifting up our knees to our down dog, bending through our knees and straightening. Bending once again, walking our feet to meet our hands at the front of our mat. We're looking up halfway and releasing forward. Bending through our knees, we're opening up our arms, reaching them overhead and back to heart center. Beautiful job, everyone. Reaching up again, a big inhale and exhale, swan dive down. Looking up halfway, releasing down. Stepping back into our lunge, planting our back foot on the mat, reaching our arms up to our warrior one. Opening up into our warrior two, reaching from fingertip to fingertip, lifting up through our center, feeling the engagement of our hamstring here. Placing our front forearm above our knee, we're going to reach over into our side angle. Opening up, we're stretching over to the opposite side into our reverse warrior, planting our back hand on our back leg. Meeting back in our warrior two, we're cartwheeling our hands around our front foot, turning in our back leg, and stepping back into our plank. Lowering our knees down, untucking our toes, we're going to lower down to our belly, pressing up into the cobra or into our baby cobra. Releasing down to our belly, we're going to press all the way back into our child's pose. Maybe tuning back into our breath here. Maybe shifting our hips from side to side, releasing the sides of our hips. Letting go. Maybe releasing our arms along our sides. Letting go of our neck. Or maybe keeping our arms still extended out in front of us. On our next exhale, we're going to walk our hands back. Taking a big inhale, we're reaching up and back to heart center. Swiveling around our legs, we're meeting together, back in the cross-leg, seated position. Reaching our arms up, one more big inhale, and heart center. Thank you so much for joining me today for this practice. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste. If you enjoyed this practice, please let me know in the comments down below and subscribe for more quick and effective yoga flows coming soon.